Back on this Tuesday, as a long-promised change to the banking industry is coming, but just how will it affect you? Here's our money expert, Rubina Ahmed-Haq, who's got the details. Rubina, good morning to you. Next month's federal budget will bring changes to Canada's banks and reportedly make them more accountable when it comes to handling customers' financial information. What changes will we notice?
So it's called open banking, and what it does essentially is it allows fintech companies and companies that would aggregate your financial information from several different sources to have easier access to this. UK and the US have already had this available to their customers. So when you're at a bank, you can give permission for your information to be shared. They say this will make it easier for you to keep your information all in one place. If you are signing up for a loan or for any other product, it's easier to access it, but you do have to agree to it, and it does give all access to your financial information, but it will make things more easier to just easier to do financial business, which I think is a good thing.
All right. After 2 months of growth, Rubina, housing sales were down in February after the Bank of Canada held the interest rate steady. How does the fast approaching spring market look?
So it's looking soft, despite what some realtors were saying at the beginning of the year that we're going to see this hot market. A lot of buyers are really holding on to their cash because they're worried about where interest rates are going. Now, the forecast is that interest rates could be cut as early as June, but in that time, some people just simply don't have the funds to bid more and more for a home, and so they're waiting for those interest rate cuts to have a little bit more access to credit to bid more for a home. Prices are still up year over year, and they are far more higher than they were pre-pandemic, but sales are slowing because people are nervous on the seller and the buyer side, and the market has really been slow for the last month because they're waiting to see what the Bank of Canada is going to do.
All right, staying with housing, we were just discussing this off the top of the show. We need a little more explanation. Get your take on this. There's reports that broke boomers are now moving in with their millennial children. Can you explain for us this trend that is being called the reverse boomerang?
Yeah, so this was a study that was done in the United States, and so they do have other added pressures as you reach, 65 plus, with healthcare costs being very high in the U.S. And they're saying that a lot of boomers have not saved that $1 million that a lot of experts will tell you you need to save in order to retire. They don't have pensions to fall back on, and so when they get to their retirement years, they no longer can work, and the only option they have is to move in with their millennial children. And so it's, they're saying that the increase has been 6% of households, multi-generational households being run by those who are millennials, has now increased to 9% in the latest research. So it is moving forward. There's more and more millennials that are moving their boomer parents in because they simply can't live in this new environment with the cost of living being so high.
Okay. Moving to Costco news, apparently changes are coming to the food court. What's going on there, Rubina?
So it won't be a major change for those who have a membership, but what they're doing is they're asking, or they are going to start asking those who do take money out, take an order out at the food court to prove that they are a member. I've always been sort of perplexed as to why they let non-members in to go to the food court. Although the food court food, they don't have a huge variety of food. I can't see someone going back repeatedly, but they do have that famous $1.50 hot dog and pop. That price has been the same since Costco was first opened. And so what they're saying is they don't want non-members to be taking advantage of this. They're not raising their prices necessarily, but they will now require you to show or your membership when you do buy anything at the food court to say that they're giving their loyalty to the customers who are actually their members.
All right. Hard to beat that $1.50 dog and pop. That's a cheap lunch.
Yeah, it is pretty cheap, yes.
Yeah. All right. And finally, one Toronto restaurant making headlines, Rubina, for adding a carbon fee to the bill. What's this about?
I was really in two minds about this until I really dug a little bit deeper. It actually sounds like what they're doing is quite positive. What they're saying is that, what we do when we consume food, when we have food trucked into the restaurants, that it does have an impact on the climate. And what they want to do is they want to collect this couple percentage points from each customer to help fight climate change. In the beginning, I was under the impression that they're trying to offset the carbon tax tax, which I think wouldn't sit well with customers. But customers are saying that they actually don't mind this percentage. I think that they need to be very clear. This is a pizza joint that is, there's many locations across the Ontario, I believe, across Canada, and they just need to be very clear so that, you know, customers are already saddled with extra tipping and extra cost of food and everything else that is just happening when it comes to us going out for dinner. So as long as they're clear about it from the beginning and it's not a surprise, it's sort of like when you go to a resort, sometimes they charge you an environmental fee because part of it is to help continue to support climate change. As long as they're clear about it, I think it's actually okay.
All right, and hopefully it's actually going to where they say it is.
Exactly.
Rubina,
That's
thank
exactly
you.
it. Yes.
Exactly. All right, we're going to leave it there for now. Thank you so much.